Check English channel. Check English channel.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Good evening, everybody.
Bienvenue à notre
Welcome.
réunion du 17 de février.
Is the meeting up for February 17th? I was looking for the date.
C'est bien, comme toujours,
Thank you. As always, we will start our meeting. We'll remind ourselves that we gather on the unceded traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people, whose ancestors signed a treaty of peace and friendship with the British Crown in the 1700s. Mr. Clerk, we do have quorum tonight. We see it. And one of our members is remote, but the deputy mayor is absent. And though he's not part of quorum, our CAO is also remote tonight. So any declarations of conflict of interest? Are there any members of the council who would like to declare a conflict of interest for anything on the agenda tonight? I don't see anything. Thank you very much. Now, a motion to adopt the agenda before you, moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by John Steeves. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. A motion carried. Thank you. So, the minutes, we have 1 minute, set of minutes. It's the meeting of January 19, 2026. If you've had the chance to read it, if you've had a chance to take a look at it, we just need a motion to adopt the minutes. Moved by Bertin, seconded by Galland. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. No, number 6, presentation. Public, we have one presentation tonight from Liette Paulin, who is the Community Development Officer for the town of Shediac. She's going to talk about the age-friendly community, age-friendly community committee. Thank you. So I will be presenting our committee, what we're working on, our plans and the actions that we've taken up so far, and the next actions to be undertaken over the course of the year. So I'll provide a thank you. So a little summary first. Well, the method, the age-friendly community methodology. There are 6 steps. It's created by the World Health Organizations to make municipalities encourage active participation by seniors, to have it be a vision for all ages. We want to include seniors in our community. They're not a burden. They are part of our community. They're active. They do lots of things. And this is the goal of an age-friendly community. So we've done steps 1 and 2, engagement and establishment of a steering committee. We're now working on step 3. We've done our community profile and identification of strengths and weaknesses. So March, April, we'll be determining the issues and opportunity. We'll be doing a summary of the assessment. So, great.
Merci.
Thank you. You just need to tell them. So identifications of issues and opportunities. This is a question of going to see the population and see what the population wants. So step 3, we looked at our assets. What do we have in Shediac? What are we offering to our seniors? And what do we have to do? What do people want that we for us to work on over the next 2 years? The next 2 fields of action that we'll be identifying. So the goal is to identify 2 fields of action among the 8 identified by the WHO. So the 8 fields of action, so housing, transportation, respect and social inclusion, social participation, civic participation and employment, outdoor spaces and buildings, community support and health services, communication and information. So out of those 8 fields of action, we want to target 2 to lead some actions for our senior community. So the objective here, what we want to achieve this year, in March and April, it will be consultations with the population. We're going to create a survey with the community. We created a survey that will target in the greatest needs. There are often people that we have a hard time to reach. There's a committee that has been put together to administer the survey individually, and also focus groups in the community. We have identified 4, there's Pointe-du-Chêne, Shediac Cape, Scoudouc, and here in the Youth Center to gather people to get their feedback. And May, June, we'll be summarizing the assessment. We'll take all that information and we'll see what we want to concentrate on to come up with an action plan in July and August to see where we want to head over the next few years. Thank you for your presentation. It does give us an overview. Are there any councillors who have any questions? Councillor Paul Boudreau. Yes, just to add, Liette, you spoke about the survey, a citizen survey. Daniel is in the room as well on that committee. He's on that committee as well. Thank you. The town had consulted people for the Intergenerational Center, the project that we're working on. It was a survey around the strategic plan. The town intends to do a survey for the recreation project that Judy is proposing. We wanted to focus on seniors. I think Liette and the team have done a good job. I'm anxious to see the results from citizens. People tell us we're looking for a lot of answers. We will ask a lot of questions too. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was very good. Have a great evening. There's a few around the table. We get closer to it year by year. Thank you very much. There's no correspondence to share with council, but there are a few reports from our standing and special committees. The fire department, for example, basically those are the numbers that the fire chief provides us pretty much every month. The fire chief is not here tonight, but we take note of it. And if there's anything, if you have any questions, we can certainly convey them to the fire department. And there's the building permit reports as well. It's the final figures for 2025. The total is, we've already published a press release on it. It's a record year for us. Over $111 million. That's never before seen. In 2 years ago, we did reach 106 million, nearly 106 million. So it's been a great year for the town of Shediac. We really got some big support from one particular project, the building permit for the new school, obviously, the Anglophone school from primary to 12. You won't see a similarly sized or similarly scaled project every year, but it does show confidence in investing in Shediac, and it will lead to other development, perhaps residential, new families, etc., who will be seeking to be close to the school or perhaps move to the region. Given the schools instead of moving elsewhere. It's really some lovely developments, and I think I basically spoke about this sufficiently. A question, a comment? I'm calculating based on the economic development. It's a lot. It's 700 million over years. It's really congratulations to economic development. It's a year-long effort. Businesses have to be congratulated, and bravo! Congratulations to the council. We are open for business. 433 million in 5 years. It's good. It's quite something. Quite a few municipalities in this province would like to be in our shoes. Others are doing better. Well, all the better for them. Councillor Peter Bro, yes, Your Worship. I have something to provide in terms of the community garden committee. Is this where I bring it forward? No. This is for the building permits. I just wanted to provide. You just want to provide an update? You could do it under 13. We hadn't foreseen committee reports at this time. We don't do it every meeting. It's something that we're looking to change when we'll be changing our agenda in a permanent way. Thank you. Number 9, CAO's report. Mr. CAO is remote, but he can certainly do his report.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Faites-moi un thumbs up si vous
Thumbs up if you hear me.
Parfait.
Great.
Alors, bonne première nouvelle. Vous avez peut-être
As of some good initial news here, you see it as you're driving to the meeting. We found the 6 for 2026, and it has been installed this afternoon. This morning, we got some news that it was ready. We went to go get it, and it was installed this afternoon. So we can start to celebrate 2026 properly now. I would like to start by congratulating a staff member. I'd like to congratulate a staff member. She's a member in the room with you, Monica Bloch, our finance director. She was appointed to the Sports Hall of Fame in the village of Bemramcook last Sunday. For those of you who don't know, Monica played hockey. She played professional hockey in the Canadian Women's League with the Calgary Extreme, Ottawa Capital Canucks, and Ottawa Lady Senators. I want to congratulate her. I want to congratulate Monica for having been named to the Hall of Fame for the village of Bemramcook. She showed me some photos this morning. I think that it was a good family activity, and I think it was worthwhile highlighting that she's been named. A few other items I want to touch upon. At the last meeting, I mentioned a day or an evening, an open house at the multifunction center. Unfortunately, I gave the wrong date. The date, it will take place April 30th. I had actually shared, it's not the date that I shared at the last meeting. It's an evening where people can get some information from the various community groups, how to register to various activities, or a community, or any community. There will be community groups present as well. And I would like to remind you that the opening of the fire hall will be on April 26th. It's a Sunday. That would be the official opening of the new fire hall. We have the pleasure of having it in our possession now. In terms of public works, there are 2 tenders coming out, going to tender soon. If they may already be out, actually. It's Main South Cove project, number 1, a rebuilding project on Main Street that will go down towards the Pizza Delight,
le patching,
and the patching, street patching,
des différentes sections,
and paving of various parts of the street. Those contracts will be going to tender soon.
Puis la dernière chose que je voulais
And the
signaler,
last thing I'd like to highlight, I had the opportunity February 5th to participate in a breakfast, a carnival
au
breakfast.
profit de l'école Monseigneur
It's
François
it was to profit Monseigneur François Bourgeois School. I was very impressed with the number of people who participated. I think people really liked the different activities and the student show. My pleasure to have breakfast with Mr. Dominique Galland. He was a young person.
que je connaissais ou que
I knew him
dans d'autres moments de ma carrière.
another point in my career at Beaubassin Est, and I had the opportunity to have breakfast with him. And now he's a resident of Shediac. Welcome to Shediac. He was very full of energy. He wanted to know how he could help. I wanted to thank him for coming to help the team, the tourism team, and economic development. We needed some help. It was a little job, and Dominique was very pleased to come help us out. Thank you very much, Dominique. Pleasure to have breakfast with you last morning. That's my report, Your Worship. Thank you. Are there any council members who have any questions related to the items that Mr. CEO covered? I wouldn't think so, but so let's continue with on the agenda. Number 10, Regional Service Commission recommendations. It's 10.1. Rubber duck a car wash, land for public purposes. That was number 2?
Okay. Vas-y.
Voulais-tu le faire?
Did you want to do it?
Dérange pas.
I can do it.
Donc, c'est un
So,
projet.
it's a new project.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Hello, everyone. How are things?
Cherchez quelque chose?
Are you looking for something?
Parfait. Okay.
Great.
Donc, c'est un nouveau projet qui s'en
So it's a new project coming up on Main Street in front of the Sobeys.
Qui donc est un projet qui, vous le voyez par le titre, qui sera.
You see it, it'll be a car wash, as the title shows. When there's a subdivision that's created or lots are separated, there's you can retain some lands for public purposes. But as is often the case, developers, given the size of the land and what is right next to it, they in the Plan 360 recommendation, it recommends the same, to provide an amount in money in lieu of setting aside the land for public purposes. So you've received the recommendation. That's what Plan 360 would be the way to go. The assessment was done in the internal team in terms of the value of the land, the value that could be compared to other lots in town. And we're very comfortable with all this as well. If you have any questions, we can certainly answer. We simply need a motion to put it to have discussion. Councillor Jacques Bertin, would you like to read it? Yes, Your Worship. Rubber duck car wash, land for public purposes. Be it resolved that the Municipal Council accept the recommendation of Plan 360 to collect an amount of $26,842.89 as a monetary payment in lieu of setting aside land for the creation of lots 26-1-1 and 26-2 on the Rubber Duck subdivision plan. I so move. Moved by Councillor Jacques Bertin, seconded by Councillor Germaine Galland. Any questions? Councillor Ronald Cormier. I just like the title, Rubber Duck subdivision. Thank you, Your Worship. Since I've been here, I am noticing something. I'm noticing that regularly Plan 360 is always recommending money. We never recommend land for public purposes. Once we've accepted the money, the land is gone. Is it typical that the commission, that plan, that 360 is always recommending money? It depends on the location of the subdivision for these lots. If you're talking about a very small piece of land, it's not the case here. A very small piece of land, you take 10 square feet, it's not worth all that much. And in lots where it's in commercial, you're not going to create a park in a commercial zone, not many. There's some places where it's more strategic, but depending on what the area we're talking about. In the same area, there's the Rotary Park. It's not very far away. Maybe that's why. The report should share a few things relating to that. They explain the formula. Typically, Councillor Cormier, Plan 360 will consult us initially to see if there is any possible interest on our end. We have to assess the lot at that point to see where it's located, as His Worship was mentioning. I want to see if it can go into subdivision plans that are adjacent, if you can connect it to trails. In this type of a situation, or Main Street, where, as His Worship was mentioning, it's a commercial area. It's hard to do. So it's a recommendation that we find valid on that front. Jonathan, would you have anything to add? I think basically, usually that's the intentions. We see transferring land when there's larger residential subdivisions, where it adds value to make a park or to keep some nature for the local residents. But the types of one-offs where you see a lot subdivided for a commercial project, usually LSPP is cash in lieu. It's easier, and it provides a better some advantages to the municipality. Having 10% of that lot on Main Street would not be overly beneficial. It's a very good question, Mr. Councillor Cormier. Councillor Paul Boudreau. I'd like the question to our great athlete here. How are we doing with that $26,000 extra for the account? She'll come back with that. We have a great need to improve our playgrounds in town. If we have a certain amount in that account, I'd like to see a plan as to what we can do with it. As I was saying, we often take money. Sometimes it's 8,000. It's not very much. I'd like to see where we're at and how we can invest it. I think we've occasionally drawn from it in the last few years, but there's not a specific one coming to mind. Me neither. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Monica. Councillor Emile O'Brien. You have a question? It's a question related to Lot 26-2 and 26-1. The car wash, the rubber duck car wash, what lots are going on? It looks like it's creating two lots. Do we know? I'm looking in the second. It's -1, 26-1. It's going on 26-1. The one that's flipped. And 26-2, that's for another project. That's for a future project. That's why he's asking to subdivide it. And that triggers the LFPP, and it leads to the in lieu amounts that related to the subdivision of the lot. So there's not a zoning change? Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. Sometimes the map shows the building. That one, no. Councillor Patricia Book-Chevary. Thank you, Your Worship. I'm not looking at the same photo, but the one 88 and 200. The triangle, is it the same, belongs to the same owner? Yes, it's the same. It's on the second document. You can see the new lot and what remains of the original lot. That's great. Thank you. So, That being said,
Tous en faveur, on dit
all
oui.
those in favor shall say aye.
Contre, non.
Contrary-minded, nay.
Adopté. Merci
Motion
beaucoup.
carried. Thank you very much.
Numéro 10.2.
Number 10.2, Remco amendments.
Ça, c'était M. Guilhem.
Is this Mr. Guilhem?
Ça va bien ce soir?
How are you doing
Ça
tonight?
va bien.
Great.
Ah, OK. Ça devrait se... OK. Et voilà.
Alors, merci, Monsieur le maire, et bonsoir à tous.
Thank you, Your Worship, and good evening to all. Today, it's a request seeking to change a condition associated to a rezoning that's already been approved by the council. The applicant is John Thompson, Remco Company.
Pour une présentation préliminaire.
It's a preliminary presentation. No decision to be made tonight. The goal is to provide information to the council to see if you wish to go forward with the public consultation.
Le site se situe sur la rue.
So you see the site, it's on Main Street, on Ohio Street in the drive-in cinnamon. It is for the medium density residential. The project is unchanged. There's no adjustments to the layout except for the one that was approved by council. So the current request is related to modifying the conditions relating to connecting to the sewer line, sewer system. The development in that sector is connected to the future main trunk sewer line. It's an infrastructure, a significant infrastructure project for the town, and it should start soon. Given that the tenders are done for their construction. So during approval of rezoning last year, there was a condition that set out that infrastructure be in place before putting out the building permit. The applicant wants to do the building of the housing at the same time as a trunk line. So
La modification demandée permettrait la construction.
The amendment, proposed amendment, will allow building the buildings as while the infrastructure work is being done, and you can get inhabitation once the trunk line is connected. They consider that this request is reasonable and could be accommodated with an agreement with town, as is being done with the new school a bit later. The applicant seeks to modify an amendment condition to a rezoning that's already approved, and it's related to connection to the trunk sewer line. It's a similar approach that you've seen for some recent project. At this stage, the council can proceed with the legal, set the public hearing, take time to get more information, or conclude the analysis at this step. If you would like to continue, you could have a public hearing on March 16th. And given that it's a change to change to the condition to a rezoning that's already been approved, it can be approved with a single reading. Thus concludes my presentation, and I'm there for you if you have any questions. So for the people in the room, we've seen this project. The three buildings in the back of the property that are being planned, according to our conditions that we adopted a little less than a year ago, those three buildings could not get a building permit until the main trunk sewer line was installed or operational. They're asking to modify it so that construction can start, but they can't. There's no occupancy permit that can be had until the presence of the trunk sewer line. Basically, to allow construction to happen at the same time. It's just a modification to the condition. It's one of the first times that we do this. Usually with a rezoning, which is what we approved initially, when we modify one of those conditions for the rezoning, you also have to do a public hearing because we're modifying the rezoning. But given that it's a condition, you don't need three readings. We just need to modify the motion. So it's just one reading. It's a minor amendment in terms of the rezoning, if you want to see it that way.
peu là où est-ce qu'on est rendu.
So that's where we are at. Any questions? Or before that, before taking any questions, we need to put the resolution on the table. Councilor Leonard Cormier would like to read it
Ensuite, suivre avec ta question.
and follow with the question.
C'est du ladro.
If I can find it.
Okay. Whereas the municipal council has received a request to modify condition E of the bylaws Z-14-44-59Z adopted by council on May 5th, 2025. Therefore, be it resolved that council reviews the file to determine whether it is in the public interest to modify the conditions of zoning bylaw. Be it resolved that the clerk on behalf of council arranged for public notice of the proposed bylaw amendment in the accordance of section 111 of the Community Planning Act, and that a public hearing be scheduled on March 16, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the council chamber to hear comments from the public, for the proposed bylaw. I so move.
Proposé par le conseiller Renan Cormier, puis le
Moved
conseiller
by
Germaine
Councilor
Galland.
Renaud Cormier, seconded by Councilor Germaine Galland. Councilor Cormier. Questions? Thank you, Your Worship. And thank you for the explanation. It's a lot clearer now. I understood. I've understood better now. It's a clarification question. Is there any issues for the town? Let's say we approve this process and something were to happen where the trunk sewer line is not installed quickly enough to accommodate the building owner or the development owner. Is there any liability for the town? We commit to doing it, and I would presume that it will happen. What happens if something doesn't go right? Is it the liability of the town? Could we be sued? Or is there any issues around that?
Passez pas sur le côté de liability, but just
for liability, I just will explain the intention of the condition that de Guilhem and his worship. The condition was there to ensure that trunk sewer line services would be going in front to be able to connect. That project will take about a year and a half. We've also spoken with the developer, and he understands the situation. And the Remco representative John is in the room, and he nods that he's fine with that. In terms of what is proposed, it's up to the developer if they want to start construction. It's up to him. I don't have any issues supporting this. I find it's logical if we can help the developer. My only concern, and it's good to see a nod from the man in the room, but legally, I'm not sure how that would work in court. I'm not saying he'd bring us to court. But I just want to know, in terms of municipality, are there any legal issues if we go forward? I understand the man, if he wants to develop something and something happens and he's invested, well, probably millions of dollars, and the pipe is not there quickly enough, and it comes up to financial issues. The CAO has something he'd like to clarify. Mr. Léger. Thank you, Your Worship. To answer your question, Councillor Cormier, ultimately, the condition will still exist, whereby the trunk line has to be completed before you can connect to it. But the issuance of the permit could not be done before the trunk line was done. Now, the risk is less a question of a municipal risk and more on the developer side. Ultimately, the developer wants to combine his building with the end of the construction of the trunk line to be able to open his properties around the same time. Ultimately, if the trunk line takes 1 month, 2 months or more, the condition that he had to connect. It's just when the permit can be issued. The risk is not on the municipality. The risk is more on the developer side. Thank you for clarifying.
Merci, Monsieur le DG.
Thank you, Mr. CAO.
Donc, sur ce,
So, with that,
tous en faveur, on dit
all
oui.
those in favor shall say aye.
Contre, non.
Contrary-minded, nay.
Adopté. Merci
Motion
beaucoup.
carried. Thank you very
Merci
much.
beaucoup, Monsieur Sanchez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanchez.
On n'avait pas d'item à-
We don't
numéro 11,
have anything under 11 and 12, but under 13, a request for information on the council members. I'll ask Councilor Peter Bro. He wanted to share some news around the community garden. It's quite brief, just to provide some information to the council members that the community garden has its own website, shediacommunitygarden.ca. It's a great website. So if there's anybody interested in the community garden, send them to the website. All the information is there in terms of how to become a member and how it works, costs, all that. shediacommunitygarden.ca. Great. Thank you.
Conseiller Paul Boudreau.
Councilor Paul Boudreau. I had some issues to bring forward, but Yves covered them in his report. An update for the Intergenerational Center. Does Sylvain or the mayor, anybody room answer? Where are we at with that? I can't provide any updates on that.
Que j'ai eu moi-même la dernière fois.
No more than I had the last time.
DG.
Mr. CAO,
Merci, Monsieur Maire.
thank you, Your Worship.
Essentiellement, on a eu,
Basically,
on a eu une rencontre de
we had a
gens
meeting. It was people,
comme un workshop avec
like a workshop with the team to determine next steps related to the center, the related to intergenerational center, the intergenerational recreation center at Kapakadi. We had a meeting to discuss the workshop that we'd had in January with Colliers. There's a follow-up meeting. They provided what you might call next steps that we should consider as part of the project. We have a session next week within the team. I'll be better able to provide you an update with as to the next steps and where we are at the next meeting.
Merci beaucoup, Yves. Très intéressant.
That's very interesting. Thank you very much. Secondly, update around Pascal Poirier House. We met 2 weeks ago in the process. What you call this? An RFP? Yeah, that's exactly it. Where are we at with that? There's a first draft. It's ready for the RFP. We're currently revising it right now. We're revising the first draft right now, just to make sure that we capture all of the objectives that we're seeking for the RFP. You see that a 45-day period is what we're going to request that the market to provide us a tender. We thought that 30 was not enough. 60 might be too much. So we'll start with 45 and we'll see if the market has questions or issues. We might have to adjust it based on that. But what we plan on doing is to put out the RFP start of March. We plan to receive proposals by mid-April if we use 45 days as a time frame. So that's a time frame that we're operating on to prepare the RFP, put it out, and receive the RFP. Excellent. Thank you very much, Yves. Thirdly, it's a bit sensitive. There's an incident that happened in Shediac Thursday and Friday night at the Correctional Center. What happened there, I'm not sure if the Public Safety Committee could meet in March. I'd like to get some reaction here. How does staff, how does it react? I don't find it's acceptable what happened there at the Correction Center. It is within the town of Shediac. It's very close to our residents, very close to our psychopath. It took 7 hours to advise that prisoner escaped. The next another 7, 8, 10 hours to put a public notice. Unacceptable in my mind for our residents. Could we have a meeting for public safety to have somebody to explain what the process is? I don't need to know. We don't need to know how the person escaped. but let's not repeat. I don't find this acceptable, not at all. People reacted, I don't blame them. Somebody wakes up Friday morning and they know that prisoner had escaped. Based on the RCMP press release, the individual was armed and dangerous. I found it completely unacceptable on the part of the authorities in terms of what happened. It's in our community, so I don't know how the town can react to this to prevent another similar incident. That's my point of view. The reaction that I got from people who called me and spoke to me, I'm sharing it with the council at a public meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Boudreau.
Monsieur Greffier?
Mr. CAO, Mr. Clerk, rather, we're trying to communicate to the greatest degree possible. I must admit that once we knew from contacts his worship might be able to add some information, I don't want to put him on the spot, but once somebody advised us, we heard the press release from the RCMP, but I agree with you, Councillor Boudreau. It's a bit late. We don't have any answers yet. We're trying to get the most information possible to communicate with our people. We want to avoid that this happens again, that we wait 7 or 8 hours without any information. We're trying to receive information from Public Safety Department, and once we have some, we'll advise you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Sylvain. I don't have any more details in terms of the events. What was in the media was the same information I received, almost from the same sources, basically. The department contacted me. He said there's communications that are coming out. It's up to them to issue those communications, not me. It's up to them. I asked a few questions. This is something I want to put in writing to ask the department. Well, look, the incident took place such a night. Not fine, but fine. I can't do anything for what happened already. I'm more interested in knowing what the department can tell us in terms of what happens in the future. This can't happen frequently. These should be exceptional circumstances. I take for granted that it was not on purpose that this person escaped. It's what can we do? And it's on the part of the Public Safety Department in terms of informing us of the steps taken, what they will do differently to foresee this type of event. I don't have that information, but we can certainly ask those questions of them and seek out the information. If you have any types of information, I can include it in any communication to the department. I dare say that it wasn't a desired situation, but as you saw, he climbed over a fence. I know that those fences are tall, and there's other things, other measures taken, but he was able to get away with it. I can't explain it. Councillor Ronald Cormier, thank you, Your Worship. I want to support Paul's concerns. We were lucky that nothing happened to our residents. I think that as a community, we deserve answers. What happened as to what happened? We have a public safety committee. I think that we should, at the very least, in a preliminary basis, invite the RCMP. They occasionally come to speak to us. Maybe we can start there. In terms of communications, it's not up to the town to communicate those incidents. I agree with the clerk. It's not up to the town to communicate them, but somebody needs to communicate. I won't repeat what everybody knows, but our citizens deserve answers. They might not get them just yet, but in the long term, we need to know what can be shared. What can be shared with us needs to be shared. I hope that we can make sure that this doesn't happen again. Nobody wanted this. I'm convinced that public safety didn't want that either. Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you. So I will convey that. Number 14, present. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I hadn't seen. I was looking at the button. Councilor Patricia Brooke-Chevalier. Thank you, Your Worship. Just to add a bit in terms of Pud's comments and Norodon's comments. The committee is meeting March 11th. I want to work with Eve and Tina to put that subject on the agenda. Thank you very much. I'll pause. I'm looking at my buttons. Number 14. Harry. I think Harry has.
I was looking at my screen, but not on the big screen. You had a question?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'd like to kind of formalize a request that the Town of Shediac operational plan be made public. In July of 2025, I did raise the matter and recommended that because of the transparency and accountability that comes with releasing a document like that publicly, even though it's developed internally, it was my opinion, and it was shared, I believe, by the CAO back in July, that it's in the public interest to formally make public that operational plan. So basically, I'm just asking now if we could be advised as a council as to what kind of timeline might be involved with having the operational plan posted on the website and otherwise made accessible to the public.
Mr. CAO.
Thank you, Councillor McEnroy. We spoke on that last week, and we're working on with our website to try to set up on our strategic planning page. You click on a button, the strategic plan comes up. So we're working on adding a button where the operational plan will kind of show up. We're trying to break it out because it's such a it can be such an intimidating document if it's published under one whole. So we're trying to break them out in 4 specific pillars. So if you just want to see the action items for environment, you can get the ones for environment, development, operational excellence. So we're currently working on breaking out the document, which has been done. We're working on setting up the buttons on our website. So we're hopeful that in the next week or so, it should be live and accessible for the public.
Wow. Good news.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, now the Sugar's got through deux écrans.
Now I have to look at the 2 screens, so there's no button. 15.1. It's a bylaw. So it's a Z-14-44-64Z for readings. Mr. Clerk, could you give us a little bit of background?
Oui.
Yes. In fact, like the first and the second reading, they're done following the public hearing. We had a little bit earlier, like in the year. And the third reading this evening, maybe I could review. We got some comments from and calls from the public, but it's not in relation like with the zoning change. So what they want to know, that the question we got, it was for the construction project once it starts. So there was nothing like in terms other comments than about this project, but really like it's on it's at the corner of Belle-Île and Labatture Street and Centennial on the other side. I know it's a construction of a triplex. Councillor Joël Després, if you would like to read it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before to start the reading, so the second recreant, Gilles. G-I-L-S. That's a very good question. Said he just wanted to know.
It's probably Gillis.
Gillis.
Well,
I would guess it would be Gillis. 14.1 Z-44-64Z. Be it resolved that the bylaw Z-14-44-64Z, a bylaw amending the Town of Shediac zoning bylaw, be read a third time by its title and its integrality. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. Questions on the motion?
Sinon, tous en faveur, en diront oui.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Against, nay.
Adopté.
Carried. Mr. Clerk.
Arrêté numéro Z.
Bylaw Z-64Z, a bylaw amending zoning bylaw Z-1444. The council, under the authority vested by the Community Planning Act, makes as follows: the bylaw of Shediac zoning bylaw being bylaw number Z-1444 enacted on the 28th day of April 2014, filed in the Westmoreland County Registry Office as 3379-5973 on May 23rd, 2014, is hereby amended as follows. Schedule A, entitled Town of Shediac Zoning Map, wherever is it mentioned in the text of the zoning bylaw, is amended by the map here attached as Schedule A64, so that we accept the third reading by its title and entirety. Z-1444-64, moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin.
Jean-Claude Després.
I said Joël Després et Jean-Claude Bertin.
Je m'en rappelais. Tous en faveur, on dira oui.
All in favor, saying aye. Against, nay.
Adopté.
Motion carried.
Résolution qui en suit.
And the resolution adopted pursuant to Section 59 of the Community Planning Act. Whereas Shediac Town Council accepted the request made by Gilbert Island Gillis to rezone the property bearing property identification number 01049295 in the town of Shediac from low-density residential R1 to medium-density residential R2 to allow the construction of a 3-unit building. Be it resolved that the following conditions apply to the bylaw Z-14-44-64Z. Now, notwithstanding all other provisions to the contrary, the lands, building, and structures on the above-mentioned property are subject to the following terms and conditions: that a multi-unit dwelling be limited, be limited to 3 units, that a drainage plan must be evaluated and approved by the staff of the town of Shediac before a building and development permit is issued, that notwithstanding Section Z-14-44-64Z of the town of Shediac zoning bylaw, a maximum setback of 9 meters from Labatture Street be permitted. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. The questions. If not, all in favor, saying aye. Against, nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next one, motion and resolution 15.1, appointment treasurer. Mr. Leger, could you give us some background? You can go. Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So it's quite easy as a concept. Monica has been with us since the month of August of last year. And in February, it was her 6 months with us. And at this time, then usually we proceed to do an performance evaluation, and I have the pleasure, without any surprise, to announce that she got her permanency with us a few weeks ago. So in the interim, so that the title was assigned to me as a treasurer in interim until we had someone else to appoint. So this evening, I recommend to the council to appoint Monica Bloch under the Section 71(1) of the Local Government Act as the treasurer of the municipality of Shediac. Thank you. I would need a motion. Yes, you can.
Pursuant to Section 71-1 of the Local Governance Act, the council of each local government must appoint a clerk and a treasurer and an auditor. Where is Mrs. Monica Bloch has been hired as Director of Finance, and her probationary period is completed. Be it resolved that Mrs. Monica Bloch is officially appointed Treasurer of the town of Shediac. I so move, Monsieur le Maire.
Proposé par le conseiller Roland Cormier, appuyé de conseillère
Moved by
Germaine
Councillor
Galland.
Roland Cormier, seconded by Councillor Germaine Galland. Questions on the motion?
Tous en faveur,
If
en
not,
disant
all in favor, saying aye.
non.
Against, nay?
Adopté.
Carried.
C'était ton, t'es déjà de ton pardonné.
Was time, like you were already like in the Hall of Fame. 15.2, like we have two like contracts. So the first one is a tandem truck, a plow.
Qui est-ce qui va donner
Who can give a little bit of detail? It will be me, Mr. Mayor. So last week, like we closed like the tender for our new like tandem truck, like the plow, to approve a budget for 2026. It's a similar like to a few weeks ago when we talk about the tractor for the sidewalks. It's a point system we sent to NBON. We decided like to divide the package in two. So the first package would be the one for the truck itself to get some prices only for the truck. And then the second one was for the equipment, like the snow removal equipment, like the winch and the plow itself. So we closed the package last Wednesday and we went through evaluations and we are proposing to go with the Volvo truck, and it's also like the two we have. They're also like Volvo, so they got the highest score with Lansbury and Tenco for the snow removal equipment. So that's why we have two motions: one for the truck and the other one for the equipment for snow removal. I would need someone to read. Councillor Janice Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A tandem truck plow. Whereas the town of Shediac issued a request for proposal RFP through NBON for the purchase of a tandem truck plow, which closed on February 11, 2026. Whereas two proposals were received and duly evaluated, be it resolved that the proposal submitted by Lounsbury Heavy Truck Division Volvo VHD be accepted at a total cost of $216,603 plus HST net. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councillor Janice Cormier, seconded by Councillor Paul Boudreau. Questions? Councillor Roland Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know there's two costs. One is 15% and the other one is 4.2. So what's the 0.286%? What does it mean? It's a net cost to the municipality. I put 15% and then we put 4.8 because that's what the municipality will pay. So the motion is 216 plus HST. So it would be the 4.2. So okay, so that's what I understand. That's right? Yes. And the other one was lower, well, way lower, but not 10% less. So when we started the evaluation, we asked some criteria, like for the engine, for the truck. And the second one would have been, we could disqualify because it did not follow those criteria. We still wanted to show we did the evaluation, but no, that's okay. So that's why, like when I see, it's a good explanation, but I wanted to understand, like, because it was still like 5% difference. Thank you. All in favor, saying aye. Against, nay. Carried. Councillor Janice. Whereas the town of Shediac issued a request for proposal RFP through NBON for the supply and installation of dump body, spreader, and plow equipment, which closed on February 11, 2026. Whereas one proposal was received and duly evaluated, be it resolved that the proposal submitted by Apply Pressure Inc. be accepted at a total cost of $245,950 plus net HST. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councillor Janice Cormier, seconded by Councillor Germaine Galland. Questions? Councillor Joël Després, not Boudreau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to get my name right. Since we're still in the motion, I will comment on Roland's comment. Like, he noticed like a price difference, but I saw your note, like you put the Volvo Cummins in. So it shows like you're careful to what you buy. Because it's a motor that's known, like we don't know the other one which coming from. So if we have problems, it could be difficult. Thank you.
Donc, sur ce,
so on this, all in favor, saying aye.
Contre non.
Against nay.
Adopté. Merci.
Motion carried. Thank you.
15.2.2.
15.2.
D'asphalte. So,
asphalt repair.
Patching.
Patching. Asphalt patching. So this one closed last week. And this one was a little bit complicated in equipment. It was not like a point system. It was only the price. So we got 5 contractors via NBON who gave us their price. So we went with the lowest bidder at 291,000. Mr. CEO, would you like to add any other information?
On voit ta main virtuelle.
We show your virtual hand. So I would need someone to read it. Councillor Joël Després, 15.2.2. Whereas the town of Shediac issued a request for proposal, RFP through NBON for asphalt concrete patching and resurfacing, which closed on February 12, 2026, where 5 proposals were received and duly evaluated. It resolved that the proposal submitted by Birch Hill Construction be accepted at a total cost $252,240. $276 plus HSC. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Émile O'Brien. Question, Councillor Paul Boudreau. Just a couple of questions. Like, I saw like the proposal, like it's really specific, like 1,000 square meters, like the exact tonnage of asphalt. Is it visual, or you go to the streets, or you see where all the potholes are? So with the foreman, like of Public Works, we do an evaluation, it's like where we need to do some repairs. We calculate them, we measure them, and we put them. So that's how it works. My other, like we try, like I know it's more mill and grind, like especially on Main Street, instead of having like a bomb, we know mill and grind. But do you think you will do this year? Well, we have 1,000 square meters for mill and grind, and then we have D&E, which is like a different, like asphalt codes. Well, we can do some of it, but we cannot do all of it. It depends where. Is it on Main Street? I could not tell exactly where it would. And my last question is, like, how can you supervise to make sure like it's done properly? Like the load is really what they said it would be, like 250 tons. Do you have any supervisor that was to check that, or before, like we would hire someone, like someone in between, like a middleman? But with the technicians we have, they will be on site, like to do the supervision also of the work. My very last question, if you can answer, like, do you see an improvement? $300,000 per year for patching. So are we catching up? Like we have Gallagher. Well, if you have a nice Hamilton is it's coming soon. So are we catching up on patching? It's a comment I got like from another engineer. Yes, we're catching up. We're repairing things that maybe in the past we did not repair, but we really went with big items. So now we are able like to go ahead and repair like that. That could become a problem, but they're not a problem yet. And things are coming along. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all. Councillor Germain, I don't know if you wanted to answer. So on this note.
No.
Councillor Patricia Bourg-Chavarri, no. All in favor, saying aye. Against nay.
Adopté.
Carried. Thank you very much. And 15.3.
CECM.
MCBB. It should be an acronym for something I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
Oh, that's the municipal capital borrowing for the Beaubridge sidewalk. Who can give me some background or
Madame de renommée.
yes, Mrs. from the Hall of Fame.
Donnez un petit peu d'arrière-plan.
Just a little bit of background. So this project is a project that is part of the 5-year plan we presented at the end of last year, I would say. We're looking for an amount of $756,000 and for the construction of the sidewalk, Beaubridge section between La Forge and Christian Street. And it's also for an extension of the water main, not water main, no. To connect like the water system, like is to connect like all the pipes like under that street. So 756,000, 472,000 will go for the construction on the road, and 284,000 will be for the water main extension. So there are like two goals for this project, and it's from a study that was done a few years ago, like for Beaubridge Street. We're talking about the crosswalk sidewalk section with some flashing lights, like a Casey Street, out of memory. But since our two water systems, they're not independent, but they're not connected on Beaubridge Street, it can cause like some pressure problems long term. By increasing like the redundancy of the water system, it will help with Beaubridge Street. And while we dig, we could solve the problem that was mentioned like in the study for the pedestrian. So we're killing two birds with one stone, literally. Thank you. Councillor Patisserie-Bourque-Chevary. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. MCBB sidewalk Beaubridge. Be it resolved that the town of Shediac, under the Municipal Capital Borrowing Act, submit to the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board an application for authorization to borrow for a capital expense for the following term and amount. Transportation services, Beaubridge sidewalk, water main extension for a term of 15 years for the amount of 472,000. Environmental health services, Beaubridge Street sidewalk, water main extension for a term of 15 years for the amount of 284,000. Be it further resolved that the treasurer be authorized in the name and on behalf of the town of Shediac to negotiate interim financing for the General Capital Fund according to the authorization issued by the New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corporation. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councillor Bourque-Chevary, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Questions on the motion? No? Councillor Peterborough, just a clarification, Mr. Mayor. If I understand well, like the sidewalks that have nothing to do with the new section of Beaubridge Street that will go to Ohio Street, connect to Ohio Road, like in the completely different, like it's near the Casey Street and Rachel Street. It's the last small section of Beaubridge. The new section that is not open yet, so this one will have its own sidewalk, like from one side, one end to the other. I think we're used to think about Beaubridge because the action, that's where the action is. Councillor Paul Boudreau, just a quick question there. Will it be in conflict like with the work that's supposed to happen on Main Street and the work like required to finish Beaubridge Street? No, this project, I don't want to say secondary, but our priority are to go to Beaubridge Street to make sure like we do not, the main is not block off at the same time as Beaubridge Street. So we'll screen this project between the two to make sure it will not have an impact. You're almost as good as Monica. Thank you. Just a quick question out of curiosity. So the time frame, like for that work, we didn't, since the project did not start yet, not go to the contractor, so we do not have like a schedule, but we will also do an evaluation like according to the contractors when they're available. So we have to start like to make sure we have the money. On this note, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much. I have no appointments to committee for this evening. Our next meeting will be on Monday, March 2nd, 2026.
Tu peux ajourner la réunion. Ajourner par...
Yes, Germaine Galin is adjourning the meeting. Thank you very much.